It is no secret that Singaporeans love property. In fact, we love to invest in properties. So much so that a few years ago, the government actually implemented cooling measures called additional buyer stamp duty to slow down, or as much as possible, to stop Singaporeans from owning a second, third or fourth residential property. I'm going to share with you 4 ways that my clients have managed to purchase their second property without paying any additional buyer stamp duty. Don't worry, it's all above board, all legal, not going to get you in any trouble or myself for sharing these tips. So one method is buying a property under your child's name. A few years ago, Tampines Court HUDC went on block, and one of my relatives owning a property there now suddenly has 2 million to play with. What she did was, she and her husband purchased a HDB on their own. To buy a HDB, you have to have husband and wife. That meant that they couldn't buy a second property without paying additional taxes. Came in the daughter who was working, and then they bought a property under the daughter's name. One, of course, she has to be above 21 to rightfully own it outright. Second, she actually has to have her own income to afford a mortgage to help finance the purchase. Issue of trust. Buying a second property under your child's name, of course, he or she is above 21. Okay, that means they have every right to sell off that property. Actually, because they are the rightful owner, they have the signatory rights to that property. Right. Naturally, the next question that you would ask is, what if your child is not yet of 21 years of age? So your next option is to use your children's name still to purchase the property, but using a property trust. The downside would be the banks will not be able to lend you any money because below 21, your child has no income. Okay, that's one reason. That also means you have to fully pay up the property in full, in cash. Because it's under their name, can't use your CPF, just pure hard cash. Again, after completing the purchase, who's the real owner? Real owner is still the child, but this is when it's important to time the purchase using this trust concept. Example, if your child is only 3 years old, 5 years old, you purchase the property today, even though it's fully paid, in 3 years time, 5 years time, 6 years time, when you want to sell off this property, your child is not yet 21, that gives you the guardian right to control this property. But if your child is 19 years old today and you purchase the property under trust, and he's 19, within 2 years, he turns 21, he becomes the rightful owner. If you're not ready to sell yet, he or she gains full rights to the ownership of this property. So what if you have no children to leverage on? If you are married, that gives you another option. Okay, we have this thing called decoupling. Naturally, what you can do would be, if you are a married couple and you own a property with a spouse, that means both of you, husband and wife, are co-owners of this property. One option would be buying out the spouse's share in the property. For example, the wife can buy out the husband's share in this property. That means she is the sole owner, he is no longer an owner in the property, and also means he is free to purchase his next property with no ABSD. For this to happen, the wife's income, cash, and CPF must be strong enough to buy out the husband's share in the house. For example, if they are still servicing a loan, she must also be able to service the loan 100% on her own. So you can actually pre-plan this decoupling in advance. You can use this tenancy in common option to purchase your property with your spouse, and you can split the property to be 99% and 1% share. So the last option is a very simple option, outright buying of individual properties from the get-go. That means husband buys one property, wife buys one property. So the final option that I present to my clients would be opening up their horizons beyond residential properties. For example, we have commercial options, we have industrial options within Singapore. That means shop houses, retail outlets. Beyond Singapore, the world really is your oyster. In fact, as near as Malaysia, in Melbourne, we also have Cambodia, we have Japan. We have so many options beyond so many classes. You just have to find an expert to assist you with your journey. And these options are just a summary of what you can explore. If you're really interested to take the next step, a lot of planning, detailed numbers, crunching of ideas actually that you have to go through. Sit down, seek an expert. Clearly, we're one of them. Talk to us if you're interested to start your journey with us.